The Lone Ranger.
The raw, desperate days following the Civil War, effective law enforcement along the western frontier, already weakened by distance and dishonesty, began to vanish entirely in many areas. To combat the growing threat of uncontrolled violence, private citizens organized themselves into groups known as committees of vigilance. These men, these vigilantes, acted as judge, jury, and executioner. And in time, like all men who take the law into their own hands, they grew to be feared and as hated as the very element they sought to destroy.
Vigilantes, they're after me.
Why?
They claim I was rustling cattle off of Turkenston Ranch. Ray Torgerson said he seen me.
Oh, Sam.
Well, I was near there, but I wasn't rustling, Amy. I was just riding by. I seen what was going on, so I beat it. I know it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. They're coming back.
All right, Sam, get out.
Amy.
I've got a 4-month-old baby in that back room, and I won't have a gunfight here. Now, you made your bed. You lie in it.
Yeah, you're right. It's never nobody else's problem, is it? All right.
Listen. There's room in the cellar.
No, Johnny wouldn't be right. I'm going out the back way.
We're looking for Sam Donald, John. Has he been here?
We haven't seen him, Mr. Bennett.
You sure of that?
All right, Torgerson. Take it easy. How about joining us, John, and helping us track him down?
My husband isn't the joining type.
Yes, ma'am. We know.
You don't think much of the Vigilantes, do you, pal? Sounds like they got him.
Lucky he wasn't found here in the house. That would have made you accomplices, wouldn't it?
Who gave you the right to make the laws, Bennett? What's made you so almighty wise and pure?
John.
He's done for.
Fine. Well, I hope we didn't disturb the child, ma'am. A good day to you both.
Those dirty, rotten murderers.
Johnny, what are you going to do?
Never mind.
So I'm sending this letter to the Padre in hope that you will pick it up soon. Here in Blue River, the Vigilantes have taken over entirely. They make their own laws and do their own punishing. I can't see where it'll end, but I'm beginning to be afraid now.
This John Stark, Kemo Sabe, may not know him.
Tonto, I met him 5 years ago when you were in Washington.
Sound like Blue River have bad problem.
Very bad, Tonto. But any organization that puts themselves above the law is bound to cause havoc.
Seems strange John Stark not try to stop Vigilantes himself.
Well, John's a fine man, but he's never been a public-spirited citizen. He and his wife have always tried to avoid trouble by turning away from it. They like to live quietly and stay in the background.
When trouble come up, Kemo Sabe, man have to face it.
Well, I'll talk to John about that. If there's some truths a man must learn for himself.
Can we go to Blue River, Kemo Sabe?
Yes, Tonto, as quickly as we can. Let's get mounted.
What is it, Mr. Torgerson?
I want to see Johnny.
He's in the barn.
Yeah. Hi, Johnny.
What do you want, Torgerson?
It's a fine way to greet a guest. What do you want, Torgerson?
You've been drinking. Get out.
Don't turn your back when I'm talking. It ain't polite. Tell you why I dropped in. I need $100. So I decided to start a protective league. That's the first month's dues, $100. I knew you'd want to be a member.
What do I get protected from? You?
No, not me particularly. You might call it protection against, Vigilante mistakes? Now, you take this Sam Donald business the other day.
What about Sam?
Well, sir, I went to Sam about a month ago. I asked him to join my little organization, but he turned me down.
Are you trying to tell me you set the Vigilantes on Sam?
I thought I saw him at Turk Henderson's place. Maybe I did. But maybe I was mistaken.
Why, you filthy...
Watch it, friend. First thing you know, I won't let you join at all. And that might be real rough. You know, Bennett don't trust none of you guys that stick to yourselves, and it wouldn't take much to make him and his boys ride all over this place.
You're a murderer, Torgerson. You killed Sam Donald as sure as if you shot him yourself.
Maybe I just ought to let you have it right now, pal.
I think he's dead, Johnny.
Dead?
How did it happen?
I don't know. He pulled his gun. I grabbed it.
We're gonna have to get away from here. Well, Bennett would be sure to follow us.
Maybe I should just go straight to him and tell him what happened.
Go to Earl Bennett? The Vigilantes act first and think afterwards. Or they'd hang you. And what had happened to me? What about the baby? What would his life be like growing up, hearing how his father was lynched for murder?
But it wasn't murder.
Can you prove that it wasn't? All right. Now, Johnny, here's what we're gonna have to do. As soon as it gets dark, you get Torgerson's body back over to his own house. He lived alone, didn't he?
Yes.
As soon as Bennett finds him, he's gonna start questioning everybody around here. And when he comes to us, Johnny, you gotta swear you didn't do it. John, will you do that? You got to do it, do you understand?
Can't you be a little more quiet? You have to slam every door in the house like... I'm sorry, Amy. But it's this waiting. They must have found Torgerson by now. They've had all night and half the morning.
I know it's hard, darling. But if you just...
I think you know why we're here, Johnny. Rick Torgerson's dead. Doctor said he was killed sometime yesterday. Did you do it?
No, of course not.
We can account for his movements up until about dusk. We was wondering if you'd seen him around then.
No.
You're lying, Johnny. What do you want to lie like that for? Ray told us he was coming here.
Why don't you leave him alone? Can't you see he's telling you the truth?
No, ma'am. I certainly can't.
John! John! Johnny!
Look.
Mrs. Stark, are you all right? What happened here?
The Vigilantes have taken John.
John? Well, why?
They said he killed a man.
And did he?
No.
Fresh tracks be easy to follow, Kemo Sabe.
Oh, please go after him.
Come on, Tonto.
This'll do it. Bennett, please. What about my wife, my kid? Throw it.
I don't want any shooting if it can be avoided. We'll use the old gang trick.
You understand, Kemo Sabe?
All right.
Move.
Drop your guns. You haven't got a chance. Get off your horses, all of you.
Looks like we're surrounded. Do what the man says.
Get their guns, Tonto.
Mister, what can I say? How can I thank you?
All right, what do you want?
Justice?
Right now, you happen to be obstructing justice. Your friend is a murderer. He just killed a man named Reid.
Is that true, John?
Do you really expect an honest answer? Naturally, he denies that he even saw Torgerson yesterday. But we happen to know that Torgerson stopped by his farm.
John Stark says he's innocent. I believe him.
Why should you?
Because I've known him for a number of years. I know what kind of a man he is.
Mister,
You're still obstructing justice.
I doubt if any of you vigilantes know what that word means. However, we'll give you a chance to prove your good faith.
You'll give us a chance.
All we ask is that John Stark be held in a safe place until we can send for Marshal Gray in Rimrock. He'll investigate and decide whether Stark should be punished.
I don't take orders from a masked outlaw.
And there's no use arguing any longer.
What do you aim to do, mister?
We're taking Stark with us. Ready, Tonto?
Ready, Kemo Sabe.
I warn you not to follow.
It was a trick. There was only two of them. Come on.
what are we stopping here for, mister? They'll catch up with us, sure.
They'll not catch up. Me see to that.
Yeah, but if they...
Relax, John. We're safe enough for the moment. The important thing is to find a safe place for you while we clear you of this crime.
Me think his own house best place to hide him, Kemo Sabe. Vigilantes think Stark ran away, but then not expect him to return to his own house.
You're right, Tonto. You'd better go home. Now, where did Torgerson live?
What do you want to know that for?
I can't think of a better place to start looking than in Torgerson's own room, can you?
No. He lived on Miller Road. Last house where you come to the woods.
We'll contact you if we find out anything definite.
You're not worried. We find real murderer before long.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you will. It was almost over. The rope was around my neck when the masked man Tonto came along.
Darling, don't worry now. It's going to be all right now.
No, it isn't going to be all right. They're going to investigate. They'll find out that Torgerson came here, that I shot him. They'll never believe it was an accident. Amy, I've got to hurry. I'm going to Mexico. I'll send for you and the baby later, and we'll move further west where nobody knows us. It's the only way.
Is it?
Amy, I'm no hero. I'm a human being. I don't want to die. What difference does it make who hangs me, the law or the vigilantes? The rope will cut just as tight. I'll strangle just as soon.
I'll pack your bag.
Amy, you understand?
Oh, yes. Oh, I think we did it wrong somewhere, Johnny. We made a mistake. Somewhere.
Me hide horses and back, Kemo Sabe.
Good. Torgerson wasn't very neat.
The room always tell what kind of man live inside. No sign of books, no newspapers, and no way to learn. This man must be foolish, stupid.
Unreliable, too. Look at the unpaid bills.
You think maybe him killed for money problems, Kemo Sabe?
Yeah, it's possible, Tonto. But the important thing is to find out where he was killed. Now, if we can prove that the vigilantes were lying when Torgerson visited Stark's farm yesterday, we'll have one half the battle.
Me notice track outside, maybe Torgerson's horse. Have notch in left front shoe. We follow it?
Good idea. After we search the place. Tonto. Apparently Torgerson kept a record. Entry made yesterday. John Stark. 6 p.m., $100.
But that not proof that Torgerson visits Stark Farm, Kemo Sabe.
That's right. I think we better follow those tracks you mentioned. Come on.
Trail leading to the barn, Kemo Sabe.
There's been some kind of a struggle here, Tonto. Stark has tried to hide it, but he didn't do a very good job.
Kemo Sabe. Dried blood on straw. Looked like your friend had good reason to hold back truth.
There's never a good reason for that. Never.
I heard your horses. I knew you'd come back.
John killed Torgerson, didn't he, Mrs. Stark?
Yes. But it was an accident. He was just trying to take the gun away from Torgerson, just trying to protect himself.
Where's John now?
I won't tell you.
It's better for him to face court of law, Mrs. Stark. Him can't run from own crime forever.
But it was an accident, I tell you.
That's something for a judge and jury to decide.
Him go to Mexico, Mrs. Stark?
No. I mean, I don't know.
I'd better get started.
Please. Please let him go. You're his friend.
That's why I can't let him go. Because I'm his friend.
But the Vigilantes are to blame, not John. The Vigilantes.
And how did Vigilantes get so much power?
Not through us. John never joined them.
Did John ever oppose them?
What?
A man can't stop evil just by turning away from it.
Whole idea of democracy built on citizens taking part in it.
Every one of us must fight injustice where he finds it. You can't enjoy the benefits of good government and make others assume its responsibilities. Can't you see that now, Mrs. Stark? Tonto, ride to Rimrock and get Marshal Gray.
You go after Stark alone, Kemo Sabe?
I'm sure he'll come peacefully once I catch up with him.
No, mister. No, you're wrong. He's too frightened. He'll kill you if you try to corner him.
Adios. Can't be far ahead now, big fellow. Come on. Came along here, Silver.
All right, messman! I cannot run you, so you come on ahead. You come right on ahead. All right, mister, that's far enough.
I'm not going back with you. Nobody's hanging me for an accidental killing. Now you turn around and make tracks out of here, I'll blast you. So help me. You out of your mind, mister? I warned you. I won't hang. I won't hang.
I'll take that gun, John.
You were right, mister. I couldn't kill you even to save myself.
I know that. And I know you couldn't have deliberately killed Torgerson. You're not a murderer. All I want you to do is to tell the truth in court.
I'm glad you came after me, mister.
You see, John, sooner or later we must face the truth. We have to make up our minds whether we're going to become men or something less. It's kind of a turning point. You've reached it. I'm proud of you, John.
Well, mister, shall we go?
What's taken them so long, Tonto? The jury must have reached a decision by now.
Sometime law move very slow, Mrs. Stark. You not worry. Trial will be over soon.
Maybe I should have gone to the courthouse, whether John wanted me to or not.
Amy, they called it self-defense. Not guilty, they said.
Oh, John.
The judge read Torgerson's diary. Even Earl Bennett admitted it was too easy for criminals and fanatics to get into an organization like the Vigilantes. He made a public apology, disbanded the whole outfit.
Oh, and it's all due to the masked man and Tonto. Why, without them, Well, where'd they go?
To help someone else out of trouble, probably. They never stay long in any one place.
Just long enough to set everything right. Oh, darling, things are going to be different from now on, aren't they? We're going to start facing our problems instead of hiding from them.
Thanks to Tonto and the Lone Ranger.
Hail Silver! Away!
Captain Stephen Davis, United States Cavalry at your service, sir.
Howdy, Captain.
You're from the Gold Creek settlement, traveling to Denton?
Sure am. I got a parcel of gold dust there, too. Hey, what's foot?
Well, there have been numerous robberies on this trail, sir. My men and I have been assigned to escort you in.
Oh, now that's real nice. Glad to have you Army boys along.
Oh, it's our pleasure, sir.
What's the trouble, Captain?
No trouble, my friend. I just think this is a likely spot to relieve you of that gold dust you're carrying.
Hey, you just hold on there.
Joe!
Hurry it up, gentlemen.
Kemo Sabe.
Another Davis, hold up. Come on.
Come on, let's get out of here.
All I know is he calls himself Captain Davis.
It's hard to believe that our old friend Captain Davis can be responsible for these crimes.
But Army say him leave, not come back.
Which makes him a deserter. Even harder to understand, knowing the way he felt about the Army and the love he has for his family.
Many strange things happen, Kemo Sabe. Maybe him change.
Yes, it looks that way.
You feel all right for drive to Denton?
Oh, sure. What am I going to do when I get there? I'm all cleaned out.
Oh, you'll find work. I have some silver in my saddlebag that should tide you over until you do.
Oh, thanks, mister. Say, who are you anyway? Who can I thank?
Him, friend.
Someone who's going to run down Captain Davis and get your money back for you for the last thing he ever does.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any word, sir, about my father?
No, Tim. Sorry.
Colonel Strickland?
At ease, Phillips.
Captain Davis again, sir. Another robbery. That makes number 5. They've stolen almost $10,000 in gold already, sir.
Can't understand it. He was one of my best officers. Why? Why did a man with 15 years of good Army service behind him turn outlaw?
We'll know the answer to that, sir, when we've captured him.
Yes, I'll follow up on that, Phillips.
Colonel, the captain's son's outside. What shall I tell him?
I'll talk to him in a few minutes. He's taking it pretty hard, isn't he?
Yes, sir.
That's the worst part of all this. What it's doing to Davis's family. That's all, Phillips.
Yes, sir.
What did the colonel say? Has he heard from my father?
The colonel will be out in a minute, Tim. You better ask him.
What do you keep asking everybody for, Tim? You ain't gonna see your dad no more.
I am so.
Are not.
You just wait. When my father comes back, he'll prove he didn't do all those things.
My pop says when they bring Captain Davis back, it'll be at the end of a rope.
What does your father know about it? He's only a lieutenant.
Well, at least my dad isn't a coward and a deserter, too.
You take that back.
Jimmy, Tim, stop it, both of you. Attention! Fine way for a couple of soldiers to act. Now, what's it all about, Jimmy?
He started, Colonel. He picked a fight for no reason at all.
There was so a reason.
Well, maybe I said something about his dad, but golly, Colonel, everybody at the fort knows that Tim's dad's a criminal now.
You better go to your quarters, Jimmy.
But, sir...
Go ahead, son. It's an order.
Yes, sir.
Now, what are you doing here at headquarters anyway, Tim? I told your mother I'd let her know the minute I had something definite. Now, you better go on home.
You don't believe it, do you, Colonel? You know my father isn't an outlaw, don't you?
Well, we'll talk about it later, son.
Why can't we talk about it now? You don't think he deserted, do you?
I don't know, Tim. I just don't know.
Tim?
I'll be out in a minute, Mom.
Now, Tim, come here. What happened?
Nothing, Mom. I fell down.
You've been fighting, haven't you?
Wasn't anything, Mom, really.
Tim, you and I have never had any secrets. Was it about your father? You haven't forgotten what your father said about fighting, have you?
He said if there was a good reason, if the fella knew he was right.
Yes?
I don't care what anybody says, they're all wrong. Dad's not what they say he is.
Tim, I'm so mixed up. I'm sorry.
Don't cry, Mom. He'll come back. Everything's gonna be all right.
If there was some way we knew, some way to talk to him and see him.
Please, Mom.
Better go wash your face. I've got to finish this mending. If there was some way we knew, some way to talk to him, to see him.
You rode hard, Tonto. What did you learn at the Gold Creek settlement?
The trouble, Kemo Sabe. Miners plenty angry about robbery. Them blame Army.
They're wrong. The Army's doing everything in its power to bring those men to justice, just as we are.
But maybe Army not like us to interfere.
It's every man's duty, in uniform or out of uniform, to help this government of ours bring its enemies to justice. Tonto, we've got to make the West a place where decent men and women can live in safety and in peace. Hold it, Tonto. It's only a boy. What are you doing here, son?
Nothing. I was looking for a place to sleep.
Where do you live? Don't be frightened. We won't harm you.
But your mask.
This mask stands for justice. Tonto and I work on the side of the law.
You wear Army uniform. You from Fort Brady?
Yes, sir. I was on my way to Gold Creek.
That's quite a trip for a young fellow. You must have a good reason.
I have. I'm trying to find my father.
You son of Captain Davis?
Yes. My name's Tim. How did you know?
Tim, we knew your father a long time ago when you were very young.
Well, then maybe you can help me. Just got to find him. Everybody thinks he's done something awful.
Yes, we've heard.
But he didn't do it. I just know. Something's happened to him.
Tim, that's a job for the law. If anything has happened to your father, Tonto and I'll find him. I promise.
But I want to help.
Is your mother back at the fort?
Yes, sir.
She know you run away?
I left her a note. She'll understand.
Well, Tim, you're the man of the house now, at least for a while. It's your job to look after your mother.
Yes, sir, but please, I've just got to find my father. He needs me.
Sorry, Tim. It won't work. You have to go back.
You have horse?
Yes, he's over there.
I'll get it, Tonto. You get Silver and Scout, and then we'll head for Fort Brady.
You stay here.
Not have chance, Kemo Sabe.
Now they've added murder to their crimes. We can't delay any longer, Tonto.
What we do?
Well, I have a plan. But our first concern is young Tim. I want you to take him to the Gold Creek settlement. See to his safety. Then go to the livery stable, rent a wagon and a horse, and meet me.
Oh, this wagon costs more than anything I ever heard of.
Gold strike make all miners rich, Tim. Everything in Gold Town costs plenty gold. You remember what masked man tell you?
Yes?
We send for army men. Him take you to fort.
Yes, sir.
You go into stable now. Him take care of you till the time to leave.
I will, Tonto.
Kemo Sabe, you even fool me. You look like miner from Gold Creek.
Hope the outlaws think the same, Injun. Everything ready?
Me follow on Silver and Scout.
Good. I'll keep on the road. You go along the ridge. When I signal, come fast.
Here comes the wagon.
Ho, Brownie! Howdy!
Afternoon, sir.
Howdy, boys.
Are you traveling alone?
Yep.
You must be from Gold Creek.
That's right. That's where I make my home. Take my week's earnings to the bank in Denton.
Well, we're from Fort Brady. My men and I are assigned to patrol this road. There's been trouble lately.
Trouble, eh? Sure wouldn't want nothing to happen with me carrying all this gold dust back there.
Well, that's what I mean, sir. We'll escort you into Denton.
Well, no. That's mighty nice of you fellers. Much obliged.
Well, you just follow us, and we'll lead you through safely.
Lead on, son. Lead on. Up, boys. Here, Brownie. Oh, here. Say, what are you holding that six-shooter on me for?
From here on, we'll take over, mister.
Take over? What are you fellers talking about?
Get rid of that gun.
All right. I'm getting rid of it.
All right, now get that gold dust and hand it over. Maybe that'll clear things up for you. And make it fast.
All right. I'm going. You watch that six-gun. Oh, Brownie. Oh, there.
Come on. Maybe that'll move you along.
Tim.
Did you see him? Did you see him? That captain wasn't my father.
I know that, Tim. We could have captured them if you hadn't disobeyed orders.
I'm sorry, sir, but I just had to come along.
Boy here?
Yes, Tonto. That's why I couldn't give you the signal.
But him make promise, Kemo Sabe.
Yes, but I had my fingers crossed.
Well, that's a kid's trick, Tim. And men shouldn't act like kids. You made a promise, son. And promises are meant to be kept.
I'm sorry, sir. Honest. But now you know it isn't true about my father. Now we can prove it.
Yes, if we can track them down. We better get started right away. We'll leave the wagon here.
What about boy? Him can't drive wagon back.
We'll have to take him with us, Tonto. Tim, this is your chance to prove that you can be a real soldier like your father. You'll have to obey orders. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Good. You can ride with me.
Tracks lead to Rock Canyon. Sabe, look. We go after them?
No, it's too exposed. The real Captain Davis is in there. We can't take any chances.
But we've got to save him.
Easy, Tim. We have to have a plan of attack before we move in.
You soldier, Tim. You know that.
Yes, sir.
Get the horses put away?
Yeah.
Good. Yancey, go hitch up the buckboard and go down to the outpost for supplies.
Supplies? Well, we got plenty of supplies.
Not for where we're going, we haven't.
We're pulling out?
That's right.
But, boss, we got a good thing going here.
Exactly. Yancey, haven't you ever heard that a good thing never lasts?
What do we do with our army friend in the other room?
I've got an accident arranged for the unfortunate Captain Davis. One that will leave him to take the blame for the robberies. But quite dead. We move on and pull the same scheme in another territory. I get going, Yancey.
Where you think him go, Kemo Sabe?
I don't know. But wherever it is, he'll be back. And then we'll get him.
Have you got a plan, masked man?
Yes, Tim, I have. And one I think will work.
Good work, Tonto.
What is this?
Never mind. Just start taking off that uniform.
Here comes Yancey.
It's about time. And go give him a hand with the supplies. Hey, what are you doing? You need a saber to carry groceries?
Force of habit, boss. I've been wearing this uniform so long, I keep forgetting I'm not a real soldier.
Where's Davis? ask you once more. Where's Davis?
In the back room.
Take care of him, Tonto. You all right, Captain?
You're the last person I ever expected to see, my friend. How did you find me? I'd given up.
Tonto and I were quite certain of your innocence. And I think it was the faith of a small boy that really kept us going.
A boy?
Dad!
Tim, what on earth are you doing here?
I knew you weren't guilty, Dad. I knew it all the time. I just had to come after you to prove that they were wrong.
You should have stayed with your mother, son, but I'm very proud of you. Very proud.
We'll pack the gold out of the safe. Then we'll get started for the fort.
I wish we could thank you for all the things you've done.
Seeing you three together is all the thanks we need. Goodbye, Tim.
Goodbye, sir. And Tonto?
Take good care of him, Captain. He's a fine soldier. Adios.
Gosh, Dad. I never did find out who the masked man was.
He's one of the best friends the U.S. Army ever had, son. That's the Lone Ranger.
Tonto, it looks as if we're in time for the celebration.
This big day for Americans, Kemo Sabe.
February the 12th, Lincoln's birthday. Gettysburg Address will be given by Phil Beach. Phil Beach?
Me remember him, Kemo Sabe. Him plenty bad.
Well, he's paid for his mistakes. According to this sign, it looks like he's changed.
Maybe, maybe not.
Come to think of it, I've heard he's married and living on the right side of the law.
Now that good if too, Kemo Sabe.
Let's look him up, see if he is.
No, Ann, I'm not going. Lincoln Day business is all right, but I've got too much on my mind.
But they're counting on you, Phil.
Darling, it's not really important. Not nearly as important as other things. Besides, I don't want to go alone.
You don't have to. I'm going with you.
But you can't, darling. You heard what the doctor said. He's been a sick girl, and you're not well yet.
Well, then go without me.
Maybe I will. But there's something else first.
Something else? What, Phil? Phil, are you going to see Dad? Phil, please, don't.
Do you think I'm looking forward to it? Looking forward to begging? Yeah. But there's just a chance, the old miser. Just a chance he might be decent enough to help his own daughter.
Phil, don't go. You know how he hates you, and you have such a temper, both of you.
Darling, I've got to try. I'm going down to the shop.
Hello, Phil.
Hello, Lefty.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has.
World treating you all right?
Not complaining.
Neither am I. We're making it treat us all right. Ain't we, Fingers?
Yeah.
Meet my new partner, Fingers Blake. My ex-partner, Phil Beach.
Real sociable, ain't he? Look, boys, if you want a meal and stay around a day or two, you're welcome. But if it's a job you're after...
A job? You're a funny man, Phil. Always was. You know, I remember the warden used to let us put on shows now and then. I was pretty good, but Phil here was the best of all. He used to recite and make funny turns. Act, like now.
Get to the point. What do you want?
Money. Could you use some?
I certainly could. But not your kind. No more easy money for me.
Are you sure, Phil? You know, the three of us could knock over that tin-pot bank and get out of town before the sheriff ever knew what was happening. We'd split the loot and Fingers would meet, keep right on going. They'd be looking for three men, Phil. Nobody'd link you up with it. Come on, Phil. Give us a little help. Even your wife won't know.
I'll give you help. Now get out of here. Get out quick.
All right. See you, Phil.
Mrs. Beach, please don't be afraid.
I'm not afraid. I know who you are. You're the Lone Ranger in Tonto.
Phil told you about us?
Yes. You sent him to prison.
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Because of that, you will not like us, maybe.
I'm grateful to you, and so is Phil. What you did straightened him out.
We're very glad you feel that way. Is Phil home? We'd like to say hello.
I wish he were. Right now, he's paying a call on my father, and I'm worried. I'm so worried.
If there's anything we could do, we'd like to help.
They hate each other so. I wonder, would you do me a great favor? I mean, go there and see if everything's all right.
We'd be glad to.
Dad's ranch is about 2 miles from here. Just follow the road going north. Can't miss it.
Yes, ma'am. Come on, Tonto.
Thank you very much.
Fingers, look there.
It's the Lone Ranger and his engine sidekick.
Want those two go under, we'll all breathe easy.
Just make sure you don't miss, because I don't want to tangle with them two. Come on. Let's get out of here. Fast. Look, Kemo Sabe, 2 men.
Let's find out who they are.
Tell us why you try to kill us. I'll tell you nothing.
Never mind, Tonto. He's one criminal who'll be out of circulation for a while. I think you'd better take him to the sheriff in Glen Springs.
And what about other fella?
And I'll try to pick up his trail. But first, I've got to keep my promise to Phil's wife and find Phil.
You come snooping around here. Ann?
And bade me not to come.
Well, that calls it snooping, so just snoop right on out of here.
I'm not leaving till I say what I came to say. Your daughter is sick, Mr. Hawkins, very sick. The doctor says she won't get well unless she can go away for 6 months, maybe a year.
Well, she's your wife. Why don't you send her away?
You know, I don't have the money. The saddle shop isn't, well, it's just barely making expenses. If you owe me the money, I'll pay it back, so help me. After all, it's for your own daughter.
I ain't got no money. I'm a poor man. Now, look, you done said your say, so get out of here.
Miser. You miserable skinflint.
Well, why should I help her? I told her not to marry you, you jailbird. Now, she done made a bed, let her lie in it. Go on. Go on, hit an old man. That's all you good for. Now, get out of here.
Worry about this mask. It's on the side of the law. Was Phil Beach here to see you?
Yes?
Are you his father-in-law?
Yes, I am.
I'm glad to hear that. Your daughter was afraid you two might come to blows.
Well, 'tain't his fault we didn't. Dirty yellow cur.
What makes you feel so strongly against him?
Why, he's a thief and a jailbird. Ain't that enough? No, sir. He'll never get none of my money either. And Ann ain't going to get no money, and darling, she's married to him.
Phil Beach paid for his crime. What have they done to make you feel so vindictive against them?
What have they done? She married him, didn't she? Against my will. Honor thy father and thy mother. That's what the Bible said, and she didn't do it. No, sir. And she ain't going to get none of my money either.
The Bible also says, the love of money is the root of all evil. You might give that some thought.
You still in town?
I am, but fingers ain't. I could really use a partner now, Phil. You need money, you said so. Well, so do I. How about it, Phil? Just one little job, that's all. Just one little job. We'll never see each other again. We could knock that bank over easy tomorrow. It's closed today, account of Lincoln's birthday.
Lincoln's birthday?
Yeah, it's too bad, but then...
No, it's not too bad. We can't rob the bank, but... Lefty, we're about the same size, and our voices aren't too different. I've heard you recite. Suppose you could memorize that by 4:30 this afternoon?
What is it?
Lincoln's Gettysburg Address.
Pretty short. Sure, I can learn it. Why?
Now, if you'll recite it dressed as Lincoln this afternoon, I'll give you $500.
$500?
Will you do?
Man, you just got yourself a reciter.
I'm very grateful to you. Phil, I'm so glad you're back. Here's an old friend of yours dropped in out of the blue.
The Lone Ranger.
Phil, it's good to see you again. I hope you feel the same.
Well, of course, I'm tickled to death. I was just surprised, that's all. I never expected to see you or anyone connected with the law anywhere within miles from here.
I thought I'd like to hear you give the Gettysburg Address.
Oh, you shouldn't have bothered. I don't do it that well.
That's not so, Phil. You do it wonderfully. Everybody says so.
Your neighbors think a great deal of you. I'm proud of you, Phil.
I've got to get ready. Excuse me, please.
Of course.
Wait till you see his costume. It's perfect.
He's made quite a study of Lincoln, hasn't he?
Oh, yes. He's worshipped Lincoln for years.
Mrs. Beach, with a hero like that, he certainly can't go wrong.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation.
Phil, are you going to take all day?
Be right there. Phil, if I didn't know it was you, I wouldn't believe it.
Sometimes I don't believe it either.
I don't look much like Lincoln, but I certainly don't look too much like myself, do I?
You certainly don't.
Phil, it's almost time that you were going. You and the Ranger can ride into town together.
All right. That's fine.
I'm afraid I'll have to go on ahead. I want to have a talk with Sheriff Trumbull before the festivities start. But I'll be on hand for your Gettysburg Address. I hope we meet again, Mrs. Beach.
I hope so, too. Darling, why don't you take me with you in the buckboard?
No.
But I'm feeling better. Really, I know I could go.
I said no. I don't want you there.
Why not?
Because it would be too much of a tax on your strength, that's why. Please, now, let's not argue about it.
All right. What are you looking for?
Spirit gone from my beard.
Well, it seems to be staying on quite well.
I know, but I want some in case of an emergency. Oh, here it is. Bye, darling. See you as soon as sober.
You sure this thing won't come off, eh?
It won't. I just put some more spirit done on it. Now, you know what to do.
Yeah.
All right, I'll meet you here and have the money.
Where are you going?
Never mind. Now, 5 minutes after I leave, you go out and mingle with the townspeople until you get the Gettysburg Address.
Yeah, you was right about that hombre that tried to kill you. Got word from Tucson. He's wanted there for armed robbery and murder.
We do good job, Kemo Sabe.
You sure did.
Sheriff, there was one man who got away. I'd give a lot to know what happened to him.
Well, listen, you're introducing Phil Beach. You want to hear him give the Gettysburg Address?
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
77 years ago,
Phil sure looks the part, don't he?
our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Why, you thief, you stick it out of here, stealing my money. You won't get away with it, you won't. I tell the sheriff.
Where have you been? I've been waiting here ever since I finished the speech.
Come on, get out of those clothes. I got to get out there and mingle with the crowd.
Sheriff?
Mrs. Bates, you just get to town?
Yes. Well, I'm certainly glad to see both of you again.
Too bad you missed Phil's performance. He did a fine job.
He did? Oh, dear. And I thought I'd come in to surprise him.
Well, you missed all the speeches, but the day's just beginning. They're going to start the fireworks pretty soon. Say, why don't you come in the office and sit and rest a spell, Mrs. Beach?
Why, thank you. I believe I will.
All right. Now, where's the 500?
Right here.
Hey, you got quite a haul there.
I've got good use for it, too.
I got better use for it. Hand it over. Follow it.
Sorry we can't stay and say goodbye to Phil, Mrs. Beach. But Tonto and I'd better start looking for that other criminal, Blake's pal. We'll leave by the back door.
All right, mister.
I wonder where Phil is now.
Oh, he's outside someplace. Come on, I'll help you look for him.
Sheriff! 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 Sheriff, I done just been robbed by that jailbird, Phil Beach.
Father, that's not
Well,
so.
what do you mean, you defend him? Why, I saw him a while
Now,
ago.
hold on a minute, Hawkins.
Why, you jailbird? You saw where I put my money a while ago. I caught you stealing it.
What are you talking about? I've been right here all this afternoon.
Why, sure, the whole town saw him give the Gettysburg Address.
Why, he was still size, but just like him. And I followed him all the way to town. I know he took it.
Did you see his face?
Well, he had a handkerchief around it.
Well, did you or didn't you?
Well, I don't know.
Hawkins, a masked man robs you. And the first thing you do is put the blame on your son-in-law. It's a good thing he's got an alibi. My deputy says he just saw a stranger riding out of town like the devil was after him. I'm going to form up a posse. Phil, get your horse. Meet me here in 5 minutes.
I know. I'm telling you the truth.
Come on, Tonto.
Lame.
Many footprints, Kemo Sabe. Can't tell which way they go.
Come on.
Kemo Sabe, look.
Here's your robber.
Him not rob anymore.
Recognize him, Tonto?
Face familiar.
Left him alone, the bank robber.
Well, that's right, Kemo Sabe.
Well, here's the money he stole from Hawkins. Give it back to him.
You give it to him, Phil.
All right. Thanks. It's your money, Mr. Hawkins.
Well, I guess I was wrong when I said you took it. Thank you.
Phil.
Yes?
Why don't you give us Lincoln's address again, just as you did before?
All right. Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we're engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation so dedicated and so conceived, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Those were fine words, Phil. Quoting a fine man, Abraham Lincoln.
You know, don't you?
The man who made the speech before made gestures with his left hand. You just made yours with your right hand. Lefty couldn't have known where Mr. Hawkins had hidden the money, but you did.
You're right, Mr. Hawkins. I took your money, but I had to have it.
I'm glad you told them, Phil. I'm proud.
Hawkins, we all know why Phil took the money. But he's broken the law, and he must pay the penalty.
Well, Mr. Hawkins, do you still think your son is a no-good jailbird? Or can you see him as the man he is? A man worthy of your help.
Phil, Ann and I are going to be gone about 6 months till she gets well. I think we all ought to be back together again. Maybe you can use a partner in that saddle shop. How does that sound to you, too? Hey, where in tarnation did that masked man go?
He's gone, Dad. He never stays around once his work is done. He's the best friend we've ever had. He's the Lone Ranger.
Oil silver!